changing out brake pads and calipers on a huge, heavy Ford Transit T250 heavy-duty cargo van motorhome. I special ordered on Amazon these, what brand is it? Elite Max Advanced. I think the company name is Max Advance Brakes. I think they're made in China, but there's no other choice really unless I go with Ford. So Ford stock is here. My calipers are pretty good. They have a rusty edge on both ends, so they can't practically be reused. The original pads are just halfway worn down. So there wasn't anything wrong with the brakes, it's just that I want to get the best. And the calipers now have, these are advanced with holes and grooves. They're very, very heavy. They're coated for rust protection. And through this whole process, I took a lot of notes from YouTube videos. You might want to get a screenshot of that and then print it if you have this vehicle. I think it's the same procedure for 2015 on up, T150, 250, and 350. Keep the caliper elevated. Don't ever let it drop down, because if you do, then this brake line will get damaged. And also beware of the speed sensor in here, right there, that part right there. So don't do too aggressive of cleaning or hitting anything in that speed sensor area. I advise using quite a lot of brake cleaner. Is the only thing you can use to do this the right way. In this video, I'm not going through the whole unassembly and reassembly process. I'm just showing you the middle process, what this all looks like, everything involved. Go through quite a lot of these neoprene gloves. Just about every 10 minutes I change those gloves. And what else? So had a special order impact tools, such as this T50 Torx 50. And I went ahead and sanded and repainted the tire rims from silver to black using truck bed liner is a really good thing, and also completely repainted the front bumper, which is not related to this job, but that's what I did. I'm also painting this area here, and then I might put a clear coat on top. So I used a lot of masking tape, and then I sanded the previously white area that I wanted black, and I used lots of alcohol to clean this plastic bumper because it's starting to look oxidized in Florida, and I'll get the rest some other time. But I wanted to do this first because I'm going to put a grill guard on the front after this project. So you want to paint the rim when the tire's off, not when it's on. And I'm pretty confident I'm going to get this all back together, but not totally confident. I'm about 90% certain there won't be any problems. But this is moderate to high skill. I'd kind of put it in the high skill area because the brakes are extremely important. The rear brakes are more difficult to replace than the front. This electronic jack works really good, and you can see I have two backup supports in case that jack fails, and also a chock on the rear tire. And also the emergency brake is applied right now. So I've spent probably a couple hours watching YouTube videos how to do this. They were very annoying videos, but they are helpful, and I just took a lot of notes. Yeah, just when you're doing this, take your time. Try not to damage the speed sensor, and don't damage the rubber brake line. Those are two top things to watch out for. So this is fully assembled now, and some things I want to point out is the Torx star screws are difficult to line up. There are 5 of them, so you need to be very well mechanically inclined to get those in there the correct way. Plus you need to use a torque wrench at a certain setting. These clips aren't too difficult, just make sure you put them in the right way. And another thing I noticed, you want to put the clips on the caliper when it's not on here. So I failed to remove this whole part here, and it ended up scratching the rotor a couple spots. Right there is a little scratchy. I might use a little bit of sandpaper to get that a little smoother there. It was when I put this on, this was still installed, and you're not supposed to do that. And also I noticed you want to grease these before this is on, because if you grease these while it's near the rotor, grease will get on the rotor, and that's a huge no-no. And especially since you cannot access the other side to get the grease off, so I'd have to spray brake part cleaner on the other side, hoping I get it off, or completely disassemble the whole thing all over again to get that tab of grease off that might be on the other side. Yes, I did find a grease spot there. I got this stand here for a third backup. So yes, there is a little opening I can look, and there is grease right there on the rotor. That's very important that I get that off of there. So I'm going to use a Q-tip to get that off of there. Boy, it's a good thing I double checked. Let me see if I can show you a little better. There's just that, see that? That's grease right there. That silver spot, that's grease. And that would be very bad to get on the brake pads. It wouldn't cause a failure or anything like that, but it would just be a performance degradation. Another option, if you clean your caliper, you can paint it a trick color to make it look more performance. So over here I experimented with white, but I think red is going to look better, so I'll redo that white one later on. And just clean it real good, and then you can just use spray paint and try not to get too much in some of the working parts. Okay, here it is, complete project. The red calipers do look pretty cool with black rims. The factory rims are silver, which are goofy looking. I test drove it, and I could smell the paint finish burning off of the rotors, factory paint finish. You can see it's now silver colored instead of black. So they tested normal. Now I'm evaluating this paint job on the front. I'm going to keep the old rotors because they're extremely heavy. I can put it over, set it on top of there, and it'll be a lot harder for the wind to blow this thing down because those things weigh a lot. I'll put both of them on top of this base, and when I get the rear ones, when I do the rear ones, I can put those two on top of there too, and it'll be much harder for the wind to blow it down. Also makes it harder for me to relocate this umbrella, but that's a good repurpose for those. Looks pretty sharp. I just ordered the grill guard. It was $520 with the 5.3 inch LED spotlights that attach to it. So that'll be another video. Yeah, I like the looks of that. Pretty good. Oh my God, I am so beat up from that brake job. I kind of, the reason I did it was it's a challenge. I like to learn new things, and so that was pretty challenging. So if you do this thing yourself, yeah, I mean, you're in for a challenge. But if you're up to it, you can do it. But I'm just warning, it's quite a bear. All right. So what do you think about all that?